United States of America. I, April Thigpen, have been horribly violated. I don't even want to get distracted with the Republic here. So, but I have a very interesting epiphany that just came to my brain that does owe an explanation before I head out of here because they're closing, and I had to swing by real quick over at Fred's mom's plot. But listen, every time I come here, something else pops up, right? So, because my wife was Navy and Army, these two right here. So this will defend, right? Honor, courage, and commitment. That's the Navy. And then we come over here with the Marine Corps, and then they put that on there. And then, so then because the Marines have been bought out. So it's just like, they changed the Marines into, oh God, I just can't make it up. My point is, and then you come down here, this is the Coast Guard, right? 1790, right? And that over there says 1775. Then you come over here, and then we got the Air Force, and it says above all. This is bullshit. You're not above all. So no one is above Jesus, okay? So let's just get that right, straight up. So, and again, when I come over here that says prisoner of war still missing in Ashken, why do we not count the Americans? This doesn't represent the Americans. This doesn't represent World War III. This doesn't represent World War IV. And now we're going on World War V, and it's not going to represent World War V. So World War V is Iran. So you can stand by and pretend that, literally millions of soldiers didn't go off just to die. And their souls got stuck. So it's not, we live in la land because, again, fathers are too busy drinking and too busy enjoying casino and sinful life, right? Because that's Star David, right? Star David gets it. Like, they're literally doing experiments on dead soldiers' bodies. Like, what gives you the fucking right to destroy American families? They got all the right in the world. Let's go back to it. So, because all we have to do is just read the Pledge of Allegiance. It says, and you got some really shitty ass states like New Orleans, who is bringing back the Constitution in the schools, right? That are bringing back in castorization for pedophiles, right? And that's not going to solve anything. So, and on top of it, they get to play games with this. Meanwhile, they got plenty of turkeys, you know what I'm saying, running around, raping children, murdering them. And again, it's, these children don't even get to go to heaven. So thank God brings back, little angels like April Love, so, and I'm tired watching my children get attacked. We're marked. So these bitches, that's what they like to do. So let's just read it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic, okay, for which it stands let's read this, stands one nation. There's no such thing. Okay, I don't sign with turkeys. Okay, you literally killed the turkeys here. You evil sons of fucking bitches. You're always killing all the wild, the coyotes, the wolves, the birds, everything. Why? It's just our entertainment, It's not even for survivor. We have fucking meat inside damn grocery stores, right? So, no, this is the purpose, and they did this in my community. We had dozens and dozens of fucking turkeys, but we have to remember, China. My first buyer of my house was actually China. I was like, get the fuck out of here. I told my realtor, I'm like, why are you even calling me with this bullshit? A full offer too. But I'm like, no, I don't think so. I'm not selling my property to China. I was on 2 acres. The house was over 3,000 square foot. Of course, they would just, and it was already redone, furnished and everything. They would have just pretty much rented it out to an Airbnb. But no, my homes go to families. It actually went to a loving family. They only last 2 years. They were already trying to sell it because, again, I'm sure they found out that the drugs that Coletta gets to bring in, the ones who get to kill the turkeys, you know what I'm saying, rape our children. And on top of it, these golf places, they own our police departments. So they would never be under any kind of fucking investigation. And I'm like, not even, you got the crimes of them just robbing our aquifers and all kinds of much needed minerals inside of our underground, right? And by them doing that, they had to remove all kinds of clay and rock. See, the thing about St. Clair, see, that's what makes them so evil, is that St. Clair used to come all the way up to the Romeo Plain. Right, so again, they had no right to go over there, and it runs where the Clinton Library is. That is Kalamazoo Canal, right? So they never had any right to be. They didn't even pull permits for this, right? This is what the turkeys, seem to get away with here, and damn if you fucking talk about them, right? So, because again, the Rotos and, Mark Hackle, Lucido family, Viviano family, our probate courts, obviously I talked about this, Judge Anthony Scotta, Judge Matthew Sawaski, these are judges that go back many years. Again, you don't have the right to literally steal children's Passover. That's what you chose to do in 2020. So again, when you start adding up these dates, again, all I am is a messenger to Jesus, because at the end of the day, we know how it goes in Michigan. You get away with your corruption, right? Not a crime to destroy families here in Clinton Township unless you fall under turkeys, you know what I'm saying? Albanians, okay? You guys steal our fucking damn children and our vote in our libraries, you evil asses, all breeding over here with other freaking countries. This particular one I want to say because, again, I had threats on me repeatedly because, again, I've been in the Republic building. I stopped going there. There's no point. It's none but old bitches in there. It's the same thing talking about going all the way down here. There's no sense of going into the Clinton Township building. They already have stolen souls. Again, you got all these motherfuckers out here with rentals, no accountability whatsoever. You're able to do all this fracking. They support it, right? Because this continues their job, right? So again, the traders know what to do. They literally created capsules down there. So after robbing all up and down Romeo Plank, and see, they robbed underneath. That's what they did. So every time, and again, all these places along Clinton River, when you realize like your house is falling in, like your trees and all that, again, that's because these conspiracy theories out here, like, I'm not paying for electric. I'm not going to be paying for air conditioning. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be paying for my mining. I'm going to just rob Mother Earth, right? So, because guess what? Governor Warren lets us. Okay, just as well as she allows them bitches to poison our churches, poison our dispensaries. We got dispensaries here, like I said, selling ethanol alcohol, vanilla extract. Why is that? Because that sheriff, sheriff down there, and it is that way. And it follows right past Clinton River, goes right past through it. So again, I just keep telling you guys, you will answer. That's how it goes. You can't allow victims. That's why I call them Hitler, because that's what they are. But let's get back over here, because my wife was Army, and this is how we just stand. And I got my flag on my chest, right? Because again, something just not seeming right here. I know for a fact that they trap our prisoners of war with their whole ancient ass bullshit that they've been doing way too long. Our soldiers have been forever way too long being fucking damn guinea pigs for these nasty bitches who get to come out of these countries. And I don't mean to be racist, but again, they already robbed their own fucking countries. So what? And this is payback for us. It's payback. I'm telling you, just like 9/11, just like COVID, it was all payback. So, but just like, again, my blood. So my blood, look at this. So, and I'm like, I just immediately go straight to Romeo. Abbas. See, they're not Abbas. So the St. Michael's, they're not Abbas, but they're still under a form, and they go back to the 80s. So they're the first Catholic church here. So, but they are part of, a colonizing group. And this cemetery is important. So like I said, I wouldn't want nothing bad to happen. That's why I don't put my videos, because I wouldn't nothing happen to this cemetery. The cemetery is very important. Same thing with the Cadillac cemetery. It might not be an earth portal, but you got the armor of God who's spying on these bitches, right? I just put him to work, and then I put him around, and I attached it. Usually I go through the wife, but at that time I just went because I can't study him because he starts looking like a hermit. It's like St. George. I twin myself to St. George, but he was actually Turkey. And I'm like, oh, I can't do Turkey. Just like, that's confusing. So I try not to do too much studying, right? And they're ugly too. So I'm just like, okay, I just focus on what God was teaching me and the message that I was getting, which he's the armor of God, right, in the Cadillac Cemetery. And that cemetery has its own story too. So, but again, they're not fracking like this place is. So this one has a gazillion fracking jobs, all these different faucets, all attached to an aquifer. They have their buildings running on air conditioner attached to aquifers. See, this is what they do. Right. And I'm like, obviously it's hot. That's the only bad part is like you go over there and their resurrection is hot. But anyways, I still put my angel of hope in there. That was Flint, you know what I'm saying, from Flint. So, and I paired Dr. Martin Luther with the Vietnam Memorial over there, right? And then I attached it to the Resurrection Building. And then, so it's 3. You always want a 3. Right, so this is how you create, and maybe I will find a porthole. I just haven't. It takes a long time. So I'm brought to, right? It could be because I was brought to it. I was definitely brought to it. So, but it could be. I just haven't got a long time because the exit takes investigations, like lots of hours. Hey, don't take off. Lots and lots of hours of me studying and, doing this, praying and studying and stuff like that. So there could be. That's reality. But let's get back over here to Romeo. And okay, so because they're all the way not just in Romeo, they follow down there on Romeo Plank in 26, where I say you got that... It's the Baptist church, right? It's the cute little white church I talk about down there by Vincent Joe's, down there by Edison. So again, when I was there the other day, sniffing around at Mid-America, I was, that database center that they're going to be putting on in there, that's the traders that have been doing this pipeline from Port Huron all the way to Shelby, right? It's crickets. You're not ever, how dare you rob? These communities are going to drown. There's a very likely chance that all along, let's get out the hand, all along the thumb right here. That's why I'm like, I wouldn't camp here. Like, we're dealing with some severe flooding. So severe storms. This is what happens when you got witches destroying our planet, right? For pipelines, for geofracking jobs, for stealing minerals, right? So, and again, they've been at this for a long time. We never left Hitler. So unless you don't understand that, right? We never left Hitler. So Hitler just came over here and joined all kinds of middle continent countries over there. So it's more than Middle East. So it's those countries over there. But then you also have Asia on the other side, right? The Asia countries, and they own everybody. So I'm like, they think we get to trust them. I'm like, no, I would not trust them because, again, I pay attention to the Filipino father here. I'm like, again, it's just, you can't keep talking about these guys. So I'm like, but there's a dishonest with them, right? And again, lots of families will drown. Their houses, those houses all along here, like, we went and spent billions of dollars in FEMA and federal stuff, federal loan monies and federal money, like all this fucking damn money for their asses to be able to frack, destroy, right? See, the windmills, okay, go back to the ark, all right? So I told you I learned this in Indianapolis, right? So, and it's what's underneath, and it spreads, right? So that is causing the decommissioning of the mitten, right? So, and then we do have fault lines along. So then you get into, because you're getting into Lake Huron, after Port Huron. And like I said, we don't have a seawall or nothing. We live in La La Land. You see what's happening in other countries, right? That's why I listen to that lady that does the earthquakes, because it takes a lot of time to do what she's doing. Even our own meteorologist doesn't do what she does. Right. So again, it's important to understand that, because and that last night she was like, America, both up and down, don't stand a chance. We have such outdated infrastructure. Yes, we do. Okay. And it just keeps getting worse. You know what I'm saying? Because again, we never loved Hitler. They literally brought Hitler to Huntsville, Alabama. So then we're wondering why all these fucking scientists are dying, right? Because again, they went and said, okay, America, you got smart. Okay, we are the one who are going to invent the space stuff, right? That would be Space One. So again, that's why the Air Force becomes above all. No one is above God. right? No one is above any branch. They all work equally together. That was the point of God creating these military. You use Jesus in a horrible way, and you leave all kinds of souls and families that gave up their life and their entire fucking family to fight wars that, again, we ended up allowing traitors to be over here robbing the hell out of our Great Lakes. And it's bad. We're so far behind. We're like I said, we're in World War II. Obviously this generation brings World War III, right? So, but Mama brings World War IV. So then also the discussion of World War V. That was supposed to be like 2030. Right, so technically we're like still under World War IV, and it makes sense because we technically are, but we are because Iran is World War V, right? So we just get back here to the dates of when our military started to get robbed. It got formed and it got robbed. We had to stop this train wreck because we really do need military back in our homeland, so that way we can build infrastructure. We're being robbed by other like the Philippines, billions and billions of dollars going in. They don't even give us, status to be permanent, right? And then God says, leave them fucking to drown. So it might sound mean, but I'm like, I'll be damned, these witches over here raping our damn children, because again, I don't want to get going on that. It get me all triggered. So, but again, there seems to be a natty ass fucking damn, I can't stand Filipino men. They're fucking nasty. Then to find out they don't eat pussy, get the fuck out of here. You're not American if you don't eat pussy. So what the fuck is wrong with you? I can only imagine you guys got little ass dicks. I know, because my boss has a little dick. Thank God his dick didn't get hard. So it's like, God, I can't even believe I almost made out with him. Okay, I gotta finish my story. I did make out with him because again, what it was is like I haven't been with anybody in many years, and so since my wife wasn't the last person I was with a friend of mine, and then I lost my friend because my wife died, and my wife was like not having it. She was not having it. I swear to God, she's not having it. So I ended up splitting from her in 2020. This is when I was in my Pennsylvania home, 204 Genesis Drive, Landon, Pennsylvania, 19510. That is my family home. Also, when I had my kids, this is where my kids were heavily victimized too, in K-12. My biggest regret is ever putting my kids in fucking K-12. So, and is left, I'm going to eventually lose my son. He's already died. The reality is like my children are already killed themselves. When you get fucking raped, and then on top of it, you get raped, then you get fucking made fun of, teased, and you're a nigger, and you're a slut, and you're a whore. That's what happens when we bring in Turkey Albania motherfuckers. Gross. Because again, they own our library. They literally put their shit in the back of the library where the history room is, right? They have all their fucking flags and all that shit, and it goes all the way down to Dearborn Arbitrium. So again, it matches up with the Clinton Township Arbitrium. It matches up with the Mount Clemens Arbitrium right there. They're all fucking rebirthing all this shit, wasting billions of damn dollars just to rob Canada. At this point, I'm thinking Canada's way worse. I don't know, because it's together. They're robbing both. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, Canada stands to lose a whole lot too, because, you have North America. So it's so huge, right? And China and Russia are coming together for the Silk Roads of the Arctic, right? And we're over here living in La La Land, okay, Dark Ages, Footstones. So let's get back to it, because that thing out there, that special Earth portal that's at the Abbey, across from the Cosvic, it's like starts with a K, library in Romeo, right? So because I want to save Romeo. Romeo is such a cute town. I would be fucking damn, these bitches are going to go in there with this fucking database center, after they already robbed Michigan, the state of Michigan, for trillions of dollars. I could go on and on and on and on and on and on about Shelby. But again, we're going to make it short and talk about Custer, right? This is president. Do you hear what I'm saying? I talked to the Holy Ghost. Custer's down there on 24 Mile in Romeo Plank. That's this way, right? He's in there at the St. Peter Lutheran church, the one that's been bought out since the 90s with a bunch of hermit motherfuckers that are colonizing over here. Part of the Hitlers. So they literally said it. They're part of the Hitlers. So this wasn't the pastors or anything like that. This is the fuckboys. They have to be very tied to our roundabouts. So again, when we got all these roundabouts, very attached to the Lutherans. Lutherans are now attached to the frack cameras coming in. So again, they get to rob Also, this includes the Lutheran Emmanuel on 21 and Romeo Plank. They got the Waldenberg part behind them. They horribly fracked the fucking hell and robbed the state of Michigan. Not only the state of Michigan, but you're talking about victims, PO soldiers, families, right? Because again, the Lutherans are colonizers since the 90s, before 2001, right? So, and again, they got to survive. This is what they will defend. Bullshit. I would come back over here to April Love because, again, God chose me. So I was chosen. I was murdered. I died. So I died back in 2015 when I had that fucking infection. Again, my wife saved my life. That's the year I met my wife. So I'm like, again, I know God, it's my chains, the chains that I held onto, and I don't ever give up. So I never give up. So, and I will never go up. So I just end up being murdered, but I will still take it to heaven. So I'll still take it to Christ. The same thing with my wife. It took her 3 years, but once those 3 years, when she finally was able to pass, right, I left her in St. Louis. So, because it was holding her back. So I had to, and then she came to me in 23, when I was down there in New Orleans after being attacked by the sheriff of Mobile, Alabama. They had no problem coming up with his wife. They stole my fucking damn adopted kids. I'm just sick of it because, again, now I have disorderly conduct. It cost me $20,000 for these fucking damn attorneys down there just for them to rob my children. And then on top of it, they were victimized while they're down there in Alabama. The only time my kids were not fucking victimized was, again, when they were in my care in Michigan. So up there in Oscoda. But again, this is what the state of Michigan, the state of America is doing to children. These are American children. So it's not even like they're just, there's all this stark about all these so-called Christians and whatnot who are like, we're cutting to the streets for these deportation and ICE, right? And I'm like, where the fuck were you during COVID when all kinds of victims got trafficked, robbed Walmart, all these corporations? Where the fuck were you then? Huh? So, again, no, they were doing protests to open up the fucking schools. So, again, this is just how crooked it is here. So, because it goes back that far. So, but again, anyways, I was told that when I was studying Romeo. So I didn't know I was blood. I didn't even know about Custard. I didn't even know. I knew about Abraham Lincoln. So, but I didn't even know about Andrew Jackson until I went to Pensacola and found him. So I found him after I found that memorial, that huge ass memorial, and then the fucking robots and the French and the Catholic. And then I found Andrew Jackson. Right down, I was with Hunter. Right down in the downtown. I'm like, oh my God. They got you this dump ass park. Oh my God. This is because I knew of, I did find him also in New Orleans. So, but I think I found him, I 100% found him in Pensacola before I even noticed him down there in downtown New Orleans. So he's down there at the Basilica in New Orleans in the downtown part, right? So he's on the horse and stuff like that. So, but that's how, again, Andrew Jackson killed many natives, my blood, but I have to stick with the fact that God felt enough that he would be rebirthed. So like the purpose of using my womb is to rebirth. So I don't know where they go. I'm not God. Okay. So I'm not Jesus. Okay. It's not just them. It's the Spirit. It's the Holy Spirit and the Holy Ghost in the upper world. That's right. They communicate. They shift between each other. Right. So because again, they created our Mother Earth. They created that. So, and then also because they need, I know enough now that the reason why God does this often is because he needs soldiers. I learned that up at the Warner Smith Air Force Base when, again, that's the Earth portal hole, and that goes back to the Tuscany, and that's where I married my wife. So it's a very special, very attached to the military. That's where I learned that when we're in war, right, and I didn't even know all this concept, this language, it's progressively grown because I've progressively been in this bubble. It does give me a bubble of protection, technically, but it's nothing great. There's nothing I can do here. There's absolutely nothing. And then I'm going to watch how my fucking kids are being raped and murdered. So while these motherfucking turkeys down here, and they're all over, these fucking golf courses, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not a detective, but I'm like, I swear to God, it wouldn't fucking take me. Same thing with Lakewood Shores Golf. It wasn't hard. Like, there was trafficking. They were selling cocaine out of it, right? And they didn't even have staff at nighttime. I stayed there. And it's actually a nice, I was just like privatize it. So if I could privatize that whole entire section, right? So that way, they can, it was Canada coming up, so they can stop this train wreck, again, this includes Christopher P. Martin, 81 District. That's why I talk about him so much, Judge Riffle, but it's really going all the way up. It follows the underground railroad stories, right? And so how fucking evil that they would steal Harriet Tubman, because Harriet Tubman wouldn't be part of any fucking trafficking shit. That's no different than slavery. So that is slavery. So again, that's why it makes God so fucking angry, right? Because they are like full pledge all the time. So, but again, let's get back to it, because over there at the Abbey, it says July 4th, 1776, right? And I'm like, man, and they are the ones celebrating this 200, it's tied to the 250 years, right? And they're over here. I don't celebrate the 250 years. I asked my daughter too, I'm like, you guys don't know? So I don't know, my husband could have, but I'm like, oh no, I know my wife ain't gonna study that. Especially right now while we're in fucking war. You know who's the one who's like bragging about it? These guys. So again, you see, now I didn't see technically them having the 250 flags, right? They weren't so much, but I'm talking about these guys here in Michigan, the ones I'm talking about, abba-dabba-dabba-dabbas, right? They had loaded with the flags. Again, why? Because they go back that far. And again, Shelby was a location for like nuclear. So I studied this. So I got to go back in my notes, but like World War I was doing chemicals out there in Shelby, with Ford, and so how do you think Ford got built up? Okay, wars. That bitch can't make fucking cars to save his fucking damn, his lineage. So, and again, Edison, not Edison, but Edison, because Edison bought out Edison, right? The Edison family that goes back to the Ford, because again, is Ford, the one who died, Henry Ford, I think the second, the one that died in the 1960s, was definitely murdered. Okay, just like Coleman in 97 was definitely murdered. Okay, this is the games that they get to play. That's the point of me going, like Coleman's down there by my doctor's office, say at Detroit, right? Wayne State, Detroit Institute of Arts, the fucking French, 350 years. These are not good French. Okay, so these are very bad French. So very bad French that murdered so many. But they keep that ugly ass blood all the way down St. Clair. All the way down St. Clair. So that's why I'm like, I go out there and I'm like, why are we caught in this bubble? Well, because again, even like the Philippines, right? They have all these tied to the Catholics, right? They're tied to the Catholics, not because they're Catholic. They're tied to the Catholics because they reboot the Catholics. So they are like God messengers that are putting the Catholics in bubbles. And this is America, so it's just like, go ahead, be all your witchery you want. It's, we're called America. I'm like, no, the fuck. I'm like, they're witches. I would love to get in that minister's head, because that's how I learned about them, because I went to their church and then I started studying. They got a magazine, all this shit. I'm like, how dare you? And then the fact that we have 9 military bases that are not actually permanent over there in the Philippines, and you have these God messengers. They're mixed with China through the Magnolia. So I'm just like, how dare? And you see what's happening in the Philippines, how so much flooding and killing, and these storms, and it particularly attacks the indigenous. So that's the problem, because see, these guys are the colonizers, right? The indigenous. Even when you're talking about the American indigenous, that's the same thing happening. That's why I try to save that building on 22 in Romeo Plank. So because that goes back to our Civil War, our soldiers and stuff. So many soldiers, like my grandfather and my great grandfather, not on my blood side, but we're speaking of the Shirk residents, because again, George Patton, George Custer, right? These guys this is all connected to each other. Right. So I don't know if they are using this cemetery, by the way, because I know, you want to go inside, Lucy? I know they use this cemetery because the man I saw over there at the resurrection, I mean, not resurrection, but, President, Abraham Lincoln. Okay, over there, there was this man. I can't remember his rank and stuff. I can't even remember his name. Right? It was empty when I got there at the cemetery. It's a very huge cemetery, right? And old man, showed up. He didn't pay no attention to my camper having all that writing on it. They just let me drive around with that shit. Because I would get out and they're just like, people would just be like, man, because what the fuck they do to her? Yeah, killed me and my family. Okay. But anyways, there was this very nice older gentleman. He was there in his convertible, and me and Dionysia, it was very helpful because he was able to explain. I can't remember everything, but he was really able to explain the cemetery and some history, and I can't remember everything we talked, but we drove around. His wife was there, so he was going up there to basically visit with his wife. When he died, he would go in there, right? So but I saw him here. So, and I don't know, he was driving, right? So, I mean, assuming he was alive, but I'm like, he could have been just visiting this cemetery. But my point is, the fact that I saw him here, right, tells me that they use this cemetery. I know they use my grandfather. I know these other locations that I talk about that are like the Warren Smith base, right? They use these. This allows the Spirit, the Holy Ghost, to shift through these locations, right? Because they are connection ports from heaven to earth. So heaven to earth, right? So that way you're talking about SON, that's up there. SON, so that's where my wife went to. She got to go to heaven because I didn't give up on her. So I chose not to, and this was I didn't give up on thousands of other soldiers, right? I don't have to know all their names. They're using my chains. It's not like I'm going, you. I might say I'll tell them all the time, take themselves down to the lightning chapter of the resurrection. But my point is, this is God. God does this. This is the Holy Spirit working with the Holy Ghost, because this is the Holy Spirit. You shift through the Holy Ghost. That's Mother Earth, right? And then you go up to heaven. So no different like where I say the two crosses are, the little cross, because it's got the big cross, that's St. John, and you got the little cross, that's Lightning Chapel, right? And it is like that. You just shoot up. So, and it's called Prince of Peace. So again, it's that Prince of Peace. That's Jesus, right? We just have to remember that, it's baby Jesus, right? You go back into your baby spirit. So your soul gets left here. That's when you commit all these sins, your soul gets left here in the Holy Spirit land. And it's not good, right? You know why? Because again, in the Holy Ghost world, it's filled with Chippewas, Mohawks, Iroquois, right? And they're pissed. They're very pissed because they have seen what the hell these colonizers have done to the state of Michigan. So you get tortured. I guarantee you. So you really want to be able to talk to your soul and your spirit and understand that language. So you take your ass up to heaven, because a lot of these people could just be innocent souls. That's the reality. You got babies over there. I tell the soldiers, you take the babies. They'd be too weak, too unable to go into the thing. So that's what I teach them. I teach them they carry even the weak. There's plenty that don't get to pass over because families don't understand the language, because we're taught a stupid, ignorant ass language, right? So drink the alcohol. It helps with the profits, right? You know what I'm saying? Works really well. All that salt. That's why I wouldn't eat at these fucking damn restaurants and stuff like that. No health department. They could be feeding you like 8, 10, 15,000 milligrams of salt for one meal. Shame on you. Shame on you. You got people around the world, including in America, who are dying for organ harvesting, right? It's not just in China. It's definitely here in America too. That's what gets to happen when you got evil fucks here who are just like, some people's lives are just unworthy. Meanwhile, people who are drinking and eating all this fucking salt, particularly salt, because salt and alcohol are sins, and you shouldn't be doing either one of them. So that's the problem. That's the reason why so many things were like, you know what I'm saying? If you put salt, like sea salt, onto land and stuff like that, unless you do all that witchery to it and rob Mother Earth to do it, again, it ends up killing the land, right? It kills us. God gave us substantial, for everlasting fresh water. If we continue to allow them to fuck, this is DTE, this is Enbridge, this is Sunco Pipeline. Sunco Pipeline is that way. Miller Pipeline is that way, going to John James. Okay, so I'm like, this one is going over here to Mark Hackle. So it's just, you got to pick, you know what I'm saying? Hey, baby, you come see me? Huh? Where did my dog go to? Oh, there she is. She's like, I come to see you, Mom. I was looking at this girl who's going to come visit us, but then I think it saw you. Oh, there he is. Hi, baby. He wants to come see me. You see him? They like to talk. I brought you blueberries over there. You know, so anyways, let's get back to, I gotta go. 1776, and that, and on top of it, it matches, like I said, this, when we are looking at this date, it goes down there, and these connections, it does hop down there to Chesterfield. When you're talking about the church, so you got Romeo, and then Romeo itself, you know, the Abbey, so the portholes in, because I've been busy. So we have one over there at the St. Baptist Lutheran, the one that's 250 years old. That's 150 years old. I think he said 150 years old. It's a wonderful church. It has Jesus in there. Jesus is clothed. This is the way Jesus looks. He's not naked. He's not being stabbed. You know, you just stop with your witchery. It's disgusting. Okay, God brought you his son, and you turn around and you keep crucifying him like a bunch of damn witches. So, like, cut your shit out. Okay, that is a porthole. It connects over there to the Abbas, Abba over there. And that, I don't want nothing to happen to that church either. That's the Rome ones, because, again, that is an important church. It's just owned by Enbridge and these hermits that are going to bring in the database center, right? So they're colonizers tied to Chesterfield. They built that church on historical land, so the land is important. And again, you have Enbridge / Mid-America, midstream over there. You know, Ford, POWMIA, Christopher Columbus down there in Algonac, there we go, Algonac, because that's where Christopher Columbus, this is the boaters, not the one who's like discovered America. No, these are the drunks. So the drunks who are never going to survive these horrible floods that will come, you know, along St. Clair. So those houses will never stay, and they don't care. That's just the reality. State of Michigan's like, all you families can just drown. Like, it's fucking nuts. Whatever you do, don't go to your basement. Get prepared to, like, have something, like, that you can go up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have an attic. If you don't have an attic, build an attic. You know, one that has a stair that you can put all the way up. I come up with the most cleverest way. Stair that goes all the way up, and then, because you're going to flood. So I'm like, I wouldn't do that. You got to figure out an exit plan. You have to have that conversation with your communities about the fact that there needs to be a 911 system. We have to stop allowing the turkeys to rob our 911 system with our future evil-ass governors and our current governor, right? None of them care that you will drown, so that your houses will be wiped away, that there will be no money from FEMA, because, again, Governor Whitmore is robbing trillions of, not even just Governor Whitmore, many governments here in the state of America is robbing our FEMA services so they can build their fracking ass bullshit energy projects that are creating the floods, right? So, but the importance is, like I said, these connection points that Jesus uses, it goes down there, it's connected to, like I said, in New Baltimore. It's not those Catholics right in there, right? I use that as a bridge down there with Mother Mary behind the church. I've been into the church and stuff, right? But I don't, it's like, I'm not, those are hermits. I went into them. I was like, even like the one in Romeo, I love that because they have the octagons in there. They have several octagons in there. It matches the octagon house. Again, and then we're talking about going back to World War I, World War II, the chemicals that were coming in, and the businesses, world wars, right? So they just keep evolving all the way to this database center, right? When is it going to end? Because I'm going to just tell you, them database centers do take, they're tied to DTE, they're tied to these pipelines, they're tied to draining us, just killing fucking America out. So we destroyed their water, right? So this is why they want to destroy our water. So, and again, as you see, it's happening on the thumb. So like I said, you got all those windmills, and then you go down here, so you got Port Huron. We have no kind of dam whatsoever. You can't even build a dam there, right? So the only thing you could do is a seawall. But what they have done is build dam, is that the Black River attached to Ford, right? All these fucking damn World War projects, they destroyed Port Huron with all their fucking fracking, creating these cradle hosts, massive cradle salt mines underneath. They get to spread out, right? This is how they bring water to these database centers. They start with communities, civic centers, all this damn shit, right? But no one fucking pays attention how they're creating all these trails, which end up being trails of tears, but trails also where water can go. So this makes a lot of communities in flood zones, but no, we're never going to talk about it. We're just never going to talk about it. So that's how it's going to go. We just don't talk about it, right? But again, God is talking about it, because God, that's his mother. Mother Earth. These people are like, Mother God is married. They're nuts. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. Okay. Mother God is Mother Earth. Okay. Listen to your own words. Mother of God. Okay. So because these people believe in Israel. So, and they believe Jesus and God are one thing. And I'm like, no, it's okay. God is Jesus' father. That's what Jesus is. So God brought his son down here, and y'all chose to murder him. So that's what you chose to do. And then you keep on murdering him, like I said. Then you murdered his wife. Then you freaking shame his mother. So, and then they created a new Saint Joseph. It's all so damn disgusting. So then you wonder why stepdads are like, I didn't fucking be no damn stepdad. I didn't want kids. You know, and I'm like, again, you are a man of God. You are a father. That's what you are. So, again, plenty of children need fathers to be fucking stepping up, right? So, that means you're advocating against rape and shit. Nope. So, when you're following the Antichrist world and Miss Satan over here, I promise you, right, baby? Like, same thing with her. I'm like, that's exactly what happened to me. Like, they literally robbed our fucking entire lives. Our education, our children. I'm just like, conversions, like, while they're fucking over here just like slurping it up, right? So they create alcoholism with the elders. It's just really shameful what gets to happen. It's like, there ain't nothing you're going to be able to do about it because, again, this has been going on a long time. We're just in a huge crisis because the fact that we are looking at, like, again, just look what just happened to Wisconsin. Wisconsin just had that massive tornado, right? That's why I'm saying do not travel. Like, don't listen to these evil fucks because they don't care about our own citizens here, right? So, because they keep telling these damn lies. So, it's not worth coming here. Campgrounds, like I said, these campgrounds have no fucking storm shelters. So, and again, they're all tied to these fracker motherfuckers. I mean, that alone I wouldn't actually go because the fact that these are very tied to... Oh, fuck. Damn it. Oh, shit. I had my lights on. Oh, my God. Damn it, my battery died. Shit. Oh, Fred's gonna be mad at me. I don't know if he can even get in. Shit. Man, they used to have security. Damn it, I should turn my hazard lights off. I didn't think it would make it go dead. Oh, because my keys are in there. That's why. Oh, son of a bitch. So I was saying, they can't even make cars here. Because my keys were in there, I turned the light on. Ah, shit. So the light actually, because the hazard wouldn't do that. So the fucking lights are on, because my keys were in there, the ammunition. Really? Fucking car, you're so outdated. Let me see if I sit here for a minute, if it'll... Sometimes it charges back up. Oh, Fred's going to be pissed. I don't even know if the door is open. God, I'm going to be stuck here. This is like how... I don't know. The doors are probably closed. There's no way to get back in there. Oh, shit. Oh, God. I don't want to sleep here all night. I'm going to be sleeping here all night. Shit. Oh, God. Oh, I could walk to the other side, because I'm not going to jump a fence. But I can walk across the cemetery to the resurrection. I mean, to the arbitrium. So, because I don't think the gate's open. Bet you anything the gate is not open. Okay, I know you want me to be here all night, but I can't be here all night. It's not. I would be very safe here. This is literally like, no, you stay here right now. We want to protect you. That's what it is. It's like we want to protect you. I'm like, it's hot, right? Let's see. It's like, we don't want to be like, I can't. There's no way he's gonna be able to get his car here. I don't think there's any way besides going to the front gate. Because I can walk through the arbitrium, but it doesn't allow you to drive completely over here. So, oh God, I should turn this off. April, seriously. Anyways, it's getting a little bit. Sometimes it does. I got that little birdie. I need to get a. Oh, God, I can't believe I did that. Stupid car. These cars, American cars are so crap. You know, the fact that these politicians are allowing Ford, GM, Chrysler, these are the big ones, right? They have robbed our government. Oh, God, trillions. Literally trillions. And to know that GM is like, yeah, we're not going to be making these cars anymore. What cars? They're going to keep their China location open. That's our tech and Warren. So our big ass tech that I talk about, like, that's insane that, because it's huge out there. It like literally stole our entire armory. So I'm just like, how fucking evil is it is evil, you know? So I'm just like, how evil is our government. And I'm like, because this is our college that's attached to Macomb County, so like they're just going on with their fucking lives. Like, they're all like, we're losing bases. Like these bases, like again, that Iran and these other fucking damn countries are blowing the hell up. The fact that these bases that they're put in Jordan, all this, don't really have fucking adequate bomb shelters, right? These guys are going into, it looked like when that one video I was watching, like they're going into trailers. Like, what the fuck? It wasn't even in the ground, right? And I'm just like, what the fuck? Right? Again, Jordan robbed the hell out of America, out of Michigan. I'm sure it's America. I just study it here, right? They're on all our fire hydrants. They're on all this infrastructure that they are no planning on updating. Again, they chose to do that type of infrastructure because it continue allowing to rob through the drains. And these drains dispose all kinds of fucking damn chemicals that they have no choice but to go into St. Clair, into Detroit River, into Lake Huron. And then on top of it, you gotta love this too, right? We live in fucking retard land. You have all these septic tanks, and that was the same thing up there in Oscoda, because we had septic tanks up there, and they never require. And I living with septic tanks, I didn't have I had a very nice one and done right at my Georgia house, right? My other homes are always attached to city supplies, but my Georgia house had because it's further out. It had septic tank, right? But it had a good one because that house was built by $1 billion builder. It was built to withstand a tornado 5. Right, that's the house that I gave up for the state of Michigan to be able to save my brother's kids. Right, but I never saved them. All these kids that God put me in. This is part of being a social worker. You are never a savior, right? You are a messenger. That's what you truly are as a social worker. So, because again, your job, and this is even when I was doing this professionally, my job was to basically listen to you. I truly just listen to you, and gather, basically a list, right? What is it that you, because it has to do with like crisis, right? So that's what I dealt with. I did when I did elders and caregiving. That falls under nursing, right? So nursing is separate than social work, right? They're way, it's just like a therapist. I'm not a therapist, so I'm like, they have different functions under God. They're very important though, for social services, right? But a social worker just listens and they're able to create a plan for you, so that way you're able to now start bridging into services or that you may need to help with your particular needs, right? So and this is something I've always been very good at. I don't really work with people now, because again, I since 2022, this has been my mission. So this is my mission to the end, and it's not meant to be about me, right? So as you see, I have no fans. I got Lucy. I have no fans, right? I have a lot of enemies, many, 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 many enemies, but zero fans. But I have technically millions of fans, right? They get to go to the upper world, so they get to go to heaven. Not everybody goes to SON, but some people go to Grandmother Moon, that's inside the moon. Some people go to Grandfather Sun, that's inside the sun, right? And then some go to other planets, other star systems, because again, there's many gods up into heaven. I just say that what I have learned by the thousands of hours that I have gave in my own life. And again, even during 2022, I gave, when I married my wife, like I keep saying prior, I gave my children. I don't have that mother connection to my children, right? In 22, that ended, because my life ended. So, in a very horrific way. Right. And it was just like, this was after several years of being up there. And I'm dealing with teenagers completely out of fucking control, being drugged by K-12. I had, and the principals and the services, Alcona, even Northern Eastern Assessment, Robert Nixon, again, they honored me. They would be witness, just like, the librarian, Miss, I can't even remember her name. Let's go to library. Oh, I can't remember her name. It's right there. And my aunt's Kathy. She's like a retired teacher now, but she's a teacher of 20 some years. They horribly victimized her handicapped son. The fucking police kicked him out of his program, his housing. He was in this housing for a long time because he was having a manic episode, and they know of him. And apparently he hit the police. But I'm like, go fuck yourselves. He's handicapped. They charged him with like assault of a police officer and stuff. You're handling a mental ill patient. How is it's not a crime for mentally ill to rape other mentally ill and not be charged? Not a crime. Mentally ill, I learned this in Havenwick, could beat the fucking hell out of staff. I mean, I was firsthand witness to the crimes that were happening to the staff that were at Havenwick Hospital. That's part of the Henry Ford and the McLaren. Well, that was part of the McLaren, because when I got attacked on September 7th, 2025, instead of letting me go, instead of not putting their fucking dirty hands on me, tackling me to the fucking ground, I was in this car. So my Marine flag was right here. The Marine flag, that if it's still there at Sterling Heights Memorial, the one memorial out there, because it has to deal with U.S. Marines and women. So, and doors need to be open because violence is a serious problem. And, it's just, it has to do with Abby, not Abby Hill, but my Gabrielle Love, Marine that I met that was horribly victimized too. That didn't get domestic violence services because, again, these projects defund our domestic violence services. There's a fuck system that is so real here among the fucking dicks. And again, you're not going to be talking about it. So don't worry. I just talked to Google and then I talked to the upper world, right? In the Holy Spirit. Holy Spirit, can you please put some energy on my battery? Put some energy. I don't want to walk all the way over there. That's a long ways to walk. So I'm like, because you can't even get out the gate here. I think there's something over here, but then I don't know if you can't get out the gate there to get my boss to pick me up. I don't think I can slip my little ass out of there. Too fat. It's like I do see a gate right here that goes into the subdivision. Because I'll just leave my car here to tomorrow. I'm like, I'm not staying here tonight. I would. They would want me to. They do this. Okay, so I'm just saying, I'm just going in and out. But this cemetery here, this portal is connected to Georgetown. And Georgetown is Hipscop down that way, still falling along the Clinton River, right? That's the message of Mother Earth. And so I put 3 crosses out there, but I know they could have took them from the trees. But I put 3 crosses along the river there. So because they're always like, go down to the river, go down the river, and the fucking rivers are poisoned. So I'm like, God just hates your language, bitches. I'm just telling you fake ass Christians. But again, I lost my keys over there. I lost my keys down here at the other native spot. That's because they don't want me to leave. Or like, and then they want it because I'm telling them I need protection, right? So they're like, we'll protect you. You just stay right here. And I know I'll be protected all night here, but it's hot. I don't want to be here all night. You know what I'm saying? They might get me for trespassing. Like, why the hell are you still here? Come to me. I don't want to be here all night. So I'm like, please let my battery power up. I'm hoping shutting it off for a little bit. Sometimes it gets enough juice back up. I can't believe I left my fucking damn key in there and I left the lights on. Damn it. The lights weren't even actually on. It was just lights in here, and that was enough to make it okay. And it's a new battery. And just my point is, we make shit cars, and they're always like, hey, we can't have China. I'm like, okay, we are fucked. We better have China. It's not even worth Ford and GM over here siding with, terrorist countries, can't even make cars, make them expensive as fuck, make them require all this gas, you know what I'm saying? We're more likely going to be out of gas. And so, because they're just draining. They're just draining and draining and draining, right? And then creating all these wars to fuck with Iran, right? Just pay Iran to go through the fucking damn straight Hornets. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. No, Saddam Hussein still very alive. So, but down there at the canal part too, I lost my keys because that's where you have native tribes. So they have a bulletin out there so you can read about it. Because all along there was native land. It's all destroyed. Okay, they destroyed it all. These colonizers destroyed all the land here. That's why I'm saying you definitely do not want to, you definitely do not want to, I'm hoping this, they used to have security. God, that sucks. I better not drain my battery. They used to have security here. I see lights. I'm just like, oh, I wonder if this is security. Yeah, they used to have security here. But I haven't seen them in a long time. So for months now, because I would talk to them too. So, I tell people are a prayer warrior. So, I don't mess with the grounds people because again, they drive over headstones and flicking their fucking cigarette butts and smoking. And I'm like, excuse me, go off the cemetery if you're going to smoke cigarettes. My boss literally pees on the tree. It's like literally a crime. So, but, no, it's not a crime, because again, oh, please come here. Come over here. Wait, let me put my lights on. I can have lights, but there's just not enough juice to turn on. Come over here. Let me turn my hands with lights on. I saw a car. It's all a car. They're like, yeah, come over here. Because the security can open the gate. If they don't have a jumper, they can at least open the gate. My boss had to do this to me before. You to come and jump me because I left my lights on. That's why I'm like, I can't believe I know not to leave my lights on. I should turn them damn hazard lights on. I had the hazards on for me. It's almost there. We're getting there. Okay. We're getting there. Okay. We're almost, it's getting a little bit better. Sometimes you just let it sit here and it gets better, So, but my point is, this land is all very special. So when we talk about, when I'm seeing those music videos, they're talking about the rivers and how Standing Rock and how they were fighting these pipelines. Right. So, but we need to talk about more than just pipelines because there's geofrackers. So these geothermal, they are doing nuclear thermal here in Michigan. So I quite wonder if they're doing that out in Shelby. Because, the really crazy thing about Nigeria and CIE and those other, you got multiple businesses over there. And they're on Headstream. They're over there with Fraser. They're connected to Sterling Heights. Again, these are massive infrastructures that are robbing. What they put in is, again, getting ready for this database center. Being attached to the pipeline, Sunkel. So like I said, Sunkel runs, I don't know how far it runs over to Port Huron. I caught it at Romeo Plank and 23. So behind, like, literally, that's how I find these pipelines. It's not necessary just like looking up pipelines and like, oh, there's pipelines. I found them and fracking jobs, and infrastructure and projects that go back to colonizers. That particular is Randazzo. And Exxon. So, and also the Lutherans, and also Saint Isidore. That collection, right? That goes back, and Saint the Shepherd, the Good Shepherd. They're more further down of colonizers, right? But they go, okay. But the point is to talk about that is talk about the ground, right? So because I found when they had drainage leaking, let me turn the hazard lights off. I don't think that person saw me. When they had when 22 and Romeo Plank, what I found it was behind UTEC, because you don't see it at that little roundabout that they have right there, where you got Baker College, right? So we got to know who the fuck culprits are, because it's Baker Baptist now. So I love Baker College, but Baker College got bought out by a bunch of Baptist colonizers that came over here and decided to get the rob K-12 and mining infrastructure automation projects, right? So, but again, they're attached to that Sunkel pipeline too, robbing. But there's also something else along there. Right. There's got to be some kind of reservoir under there, because they robbed through the air conditioner cons. Like the same thing when they did that $27 million, they did the geo wells. Because again, I went in and was talking to the library. I was going in. This is why they attacked me. They were pissed at me. So, but they realized, like, no one listens to me and everybody owns my fucking cloud anyways, Google. So who gives a flying fuck? Just allow the bitch to run around and give us all this damn facts. Because there's some snooping ass fucking bitches, those Republican building down there. They love to rob gossip, to go after Governor Whitmer. They've been, like, the Albanians are pissed, because they spent a massive amount of money, right? And then, and now, you know what I'm saying, they feel like they're being betrayed by Saudi Arabia and, the database coming in, right? So you got to know they're not attached to the Abu Dhabi are attached to the database center, right? Including Isidore, because Isidores or Abu Dhabi too. Found it in the reservoir. Oh, God, I can't pull. Literally, okay. I'm just tired of my tooth not missing. My boss was talking about this today, because he's going to pay for my veneers to be put back in. The problem with veneers, they come out every 8 years. They're really not worth doing. I did it because my teeth were chipping away because of my diseases. So, but my point is, because I hate talking with my damn teeth missing. And so when I got one, it's just this one fell off. So a lot of times you can't actually glue them back on. They tend to pop off. So that's what Lakeside Dental told me. They only charged me $1,000 to do this one, but now they want to charge $1,600 because again, they're part of the Lakeside Hermits coming through the University of McComb. Fucking doctors are not even American doctors. They get to steal the Americans. They get to steal the nursing jobs so they can bring colonizers from fucking evil ass Asian countries, among other countries, right? That believe in no value. They stole, like, Indians. We don't want these doctors. I'm like, hey, call me a racist then, because these doctors took our women care away. They took our compassion care away. They don't even have Jesus up in there. Again, you die. So, but anyways, my point is saying is I don't want to lose focus, but these are Abbas. I saw it on they have a rosary over there on Mother Mary in the Isidore Church, the one who are cutting. They cut it down, right down in her palm. Why would you do that? That's disgusting. I just cried. I never even noticed that for 2 years. I never even noticed. So now I understood why I started 2 years at that one too. And because my grandmother's shirk. My grandfather wasn't a Christian. But see, he got to go to heaven. Because his wife, so he's just, well, he's, I think he's still at the house, but he has a door to heaven. He's a soldier, and he doesn't want to leave. He sees what's happening to his land. So, yeah, and he's also waiting for his son, because his son will not go. So, a lot of his children, now his other, same thing with another son of his, he was waiting for him, because he knew he wouldn't go. So, that he's waiting for his sons. I know, because I was with my grandpa. I chained myself to my grandpa's shirt when I was there for over a year. So, again, and that was part of the process of creating that portal. So, but I never noticed, and that was really the first time I realized, because they're having me sit there and pray. I've been praying at Mother Mary. I started off at the crucifixion of Jesus. I sat over there. And then this is how also I know they're following Israel Silk Roads. So, but then I stepped over there, the Abadabas. Then I eventually moved over to where Mother Mary is, right? So, because again, I believe Jesus is clothed. So, it's hard for me to wrap my mind around crucifixion. So is it hard for his mother to sit there, bear witness to him being crucified and being hung up like that naked, you sick motherfuckers. So, but no, what they did do is they brought in the Chaldean language, because it's back there. I sat on the other side where Mary is, that's where the handicap is. So that's why I started sitting over there, because I am handicapped. So, and so is Keithy. I brought Keithy over there. That's the one I was trying to bridge that group home over to Isidore. But again, our handicap, our group home, they don't get Jesus, right? Because the inclusive community down there, right? The inclusive community down there, they're the ones that hold our butt. They're the ones that hold our recipient rights, our dignity. But again, you don't get it with these bitches. So anyways, moving on. That's where I was reading. I did read it. I didn't even realize they ended up, because I would just randomly pick it up, right? But I didn't realize they basically went 1 through 5. 1 through 5. So, and that's why I was comparing it, right? And I took pictures of it. I can't remember everything it was said, but definitely remember the Abbas, okay? And among other shit. So, but let's get back to the Abbas. So then I'm reading that, and I'm like, oh, right. So because the Abbas go back to 2023. I learned about the Abbas down there in New Orleans before I even learned about... No, at this point, I do know about Andrew Jackson, right? Because this was after the attack of the Alabama sheriff that is connected to Destiny. That's where my niece loses her virginity at 11 years old by a 15-year-old at a fucking flop house that was being run and catered off Ukrainians that were embezzling the Pacific Islander funding right along with the Destin City Hall. So, and it has to do with the crab motherfucker. fuckers. Yeah, and I can go on and on and on, but let's get back over here. Let's get over here to they were Abbas, but I'm just saying, it's connected. This is the reason why God don't put me nowhere. Okay, again, I collect souls and create bridges and they use my chains to open up these earth portal. There's literally an earth portal, not only in New Orleans, but there is one from Crab Island to Fort Walton. Like I said, Eglin has a base that's down there between, it's in the ocean where the Black Beach was, right? You see it, and you can actually, park off the 98 walk down where you got the white, because the thing was special out there is the sand dunes, right? And they're horribly being destroyed by that fucking helicopter, nasty bitches. Stop allowing that bitch to do that helicopter tours. Now they do. Not good. Okay. They're disgusting human beings down there. I wouldn't even go down there. Same thing with Panama. They got fucking drunk restaurants that are open all fucking day and they only serve alcohol. What the fuck, DeSantis? That is them killing our fucking elders. And on top of it, all the septic runs along the ocean, right? And the sand parts and stuff. So every time there's a storm, because again, they don't bother updating this shit, they're putting massive fucking damn hotels that puts a whole entire flush system that goes into the land, right? So people don't realize, and I found it down there. I'm like, how fucking disgusting. Sewage, toilet paper, run along. Again, they passed it. Health department was throwing a fit with DeSantis about reporting this stuff. Well, shutting down beaches. Like here, we have to shut down beaches for E. coli, right? So they don't do it for the other chemicals, but for the E. coli, right? So because a lot of shit starts getting contaminated, they're just like, everybody's swimming, and I would be telling people, I'd be like, don't swim in this. Do you see this right here? I'm like, this is a sign of sewage. And I would catch it at certain locations because attached to businesses, the crab businesses down there are very connected to the taxes. It's so fucked up. These colonizers are just robbing the fuck out of us. You have so many condos. They put all that massive stuff. What are you going to do? Cuba plans on blowing up fucking Tampa in 2035. So again, there is, and I'm going to listen to that message. I told his ass, you might want to move up your date. He was just a gangster, a gang member. But I'm just like, he's your little picture of it. And I'm like, what a fucking retard. I told him to move it up. You might want to, he's over there fucking trying to get mentally health victims to fall, for him. I'm like, what fucking, again, this is what's happening to victims when they go into these access hospitals here under Ford, McLaren, right? So, and other hospitals here, this is what happens under our Dana Nessel. And again, she will sue, but nothing goes to victims and nothing goes to, because again, in the state of Michigan, they don't have to report rapes and murders. So, like I was just saying, I want you to travel here, because again, you might find yourself in a horrible nightmare and you won't have any justice. That's how it goes. So back to the Abbas, right? It had Abbas on there, and then I looked up, and I'm crying at this point because they won't even allow that rosary on her neck. We have us women there because there's plenty of Catholic angels there, but it's the hermit squads, okay? And they're definitely white, okay? But they're also mixed with dark eye. Okay, okay, it's not good. It's not good. I saw that bitch. I just that's why I had to say something to him. I'm like, oh no, standing up there like, you need to take it easy peasy, right? I'm from Ford Automation. My daddy used to make me on my summer breaks do yard work. He used to teach me, you got all the time in the world when you're dead. No, you don't. It's called chase time. So I say you have a purpose while you're alive, Father, and that's not the abba-dabba-dabba-dabba-doo-dah into our fucking damn pipelines and our underground fracking and shit, right? Also teaching that women have no value. So again, don't allow you to be baptized there. They mark the fucking damn, let's see if it starts. They mark the beast on you. So that's what gets happened. So then that's when I'm just like, oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. Maybe a few more minutes. We're almost there. We're almost there. How much phone time do I have? Okay, yeah, 40%. Okay, we're almost there. It might turn on. Might not. It might. Sometimes it does. So, but it's getting better and better and better. So, because it's getting later and later. It's only, wait, what time is it? It's only 8 o'clock. Okay, that's good. Right? It's 8 o'clock? Okay, so it's not so bad because it's only 8 o'clock. So I might charge up enough that I can actually get it to start. But okay, back to it. But they only went to 5. And so, and it's just, it's shameful. Right. So, but also right before I read that, I go up to because these guys are afraid of me. Right. They're not going to be like the Lutherans. The Catholics are not, because they know I'm Catholic. Okay, I already put the time into it. So they 100%, I looked them dead in the eye when I talked to them. So, because again, not playing around, right? I speak Jesus. They speak, okay? So, but, prior to that, I was like, cause again, that day, they cut my fucking phone line off. So I had no, phone service. You have to realize this is what can happen to you in the state of Michigan. So it's not even just the state of Michigan, it's other states too. But this has happened to me dozens of times. And it's really have fucked with my anxiety. Like most people would have fucking ran out of here. Me too. Right? But the problem is my chains are here. So again, I was chosen. I don't get to run. Right? So my chains are tied very much to way back, since like you're going back, celestial, right? Because my blood fought for these Great Lakes, before the French came over here and robbed the fuck out of us. So my daddy wasn't evil. So he didn't come from that evil generation. Even when like the times he was a dad, right? He wasn't evil. He was trying to put Christianity on us, right? So my mother has always been attached to evil because of her father. So that goes back to the colonizer wars, Navy, lots of child molesters in the Navy. So again, just don't be a child molester and you won't be labeled that, right? It's really simple. You don't fucking touch children, your own children, other children. You don't get forgiven about it. So again, you can keep on thinking and God might take you, right? He might take your spirit. Right? So again, I don't have a choice, and it's not up to me who God takes in spirit form, right? So, but what I do know is a lot of time your soul, your life of your soul, so laugh on that, bitches. It gets stuck here in the Holy Ghost, and then the Holy Ghost is like, game on, motherfucker. So, because again, those are the ones out there, these colonizers, when they pass, like St. Francis Xavier, okay, it's game on for him. Again, it's good to know a chain breaker, but see, again, they don't want my news, so, that's how it goes. The only thing I could do is, like, fuck with them. I did. I was like, I went up to them, and I was talking to them about 22 in Romeo Flight, right? And the Lutheran church out there was talking about earth portholes, right? And I could tell that they were pissed about what I was talking about, right? Because I'm trying to save that. That's why they're pissed. It's not because I'm talking about it. They don't care. They talk about it. They don't want me shutting down Romeo Plank. And they know damn well, the Lutherans and the Catholics know damn well, I want to shut down the 22 location, the $12 million fracking fucking project that they plan on doing. We have very little lineage left. And Waldenberg matches up to Romeo. And they historically redid Romeo. So again, don't stop. Okay, got to go over here to Waldenberg, right? So, because again, they are connected together, and they're connected together in the form of Jesus, right? Of earth portal hole. of our lineage to our world wars, going back to thousands and thousands of soldiers who died and never got credit, right? That's what my grandfather's property represents, right? And I put these prayers in their little prayer things and all that stuff, right? And they let me put the little prayers in there. So I put that's when I'm putting the prayers in there. So because again, it talks to the Holy Ghost there. These chapters, these churches, because it's not like I want anything to happen to these churches, right? They're just colonizers, and people need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of your fathers, right? You need to, because again, you're accepting someone that you might not realize is part of the Abbas. Not everybody's going to be wanting a part. And that goes back to Hispanic, Spaniards, okay? The ones, it goes back to the wars of New Orleans. So that's what I'm saying. The Abbas are very connected down there to the French, but also to the Spaniards of down there in Southern America. So, because you got a lot of, that's that when I'm trying to learn all these and the wars and stuff, right? That's the main thing that pops up is these old ancient ass men. These motherfuckers, they don't care about Mother Earth, don't care about Jesus, because again, you wouldn't be so involved with, again, the human trafficking of basically souls and humans, right? You're marking beasts while we're living over in bubbles, right? Because I'm going to keep adding this bubble, right? The bubble continues because so you got the Abbas there, you had the Abbas down there in Romeo, you got them down there in New Orleans, right? But then you also have the Abbas over there on Romeo Plank and that 26 at that cute little white church, right? So that's been rebranded since 2012. That is the oldest Methodist, I think, pretty sure it was Methodist. And it went back to the 1700s. That's why it's connected, right? So it's one, and you see how remarkable it's been able to stay, the money is continued to keep it preserved, right? But that's also just the spirit too. Right. So, but again, if you read and again, it connects over there to New Baltimore, the two white churches over there in New Baltimore that I was talking about, right? And the significance of these, because it goes back to our civil wars and stuff, right? So because we have to remember, this is still this Trinity. And what we need to remember is, again, we are in World War IV. We are headed to World War V. Right, so if we don't realize that, again, we got in a bubble of World War II, and then we got voodoo witched in World War III, okay? And then we just been pretty much entrapping souls. And God will protect his soldiers. Just like I said, he will protect his children. He will protect his mothers. Right, soldiers play a very unique, capsule of protecting Mother Earth. These bitches down here got their own little fucking capsules tied to the Abba, right? So because that's the Trinity of Romeo Plank, and they just want to continue moving out, just like they're continuing moving out from Detroit, going down Van Dyke, and then Dearborn, going out to Pontiac. And again, at this point, it's just killing Americans, right? So as they colonize over here, right? And they do this by going through census. As they've known this, they've done this for a long time, being able to rob census, dead census. So that's the key. They rob the dead census. They go into these dead census, so that way they will never be found. They just basically blend into names. But this continues that whole Abba thinking, right? This ancient ass hermit thinking that believes in, space, right? So because again, we go to Washington Memorial, right? Washington Memorial has, not Randazzo, that's Michigan Lottery in this, but, Washington, that's what I'm saying, they're all joined together. Washington has Saudi Arabia, and then it has, Ninos, right? So then it has Park Ridge, right? Because Nino stands in front of Park Ridge, but Nino also stands out there in, Novi, out in Plymouth, and Trinity. Right. So, in the universities out there. And these universities are now at the point they're robbing our K-12. So they're data collecting our 12K. You just don't want to be like, we've already had so many K-12 students get caught up in these lotterizing games that get to be played, trafficking. You lose your children. I over here can talk to, I am dead. You know what I'm saying? Dead. It's when it comes to trying to explain to my niece that, and I don't call her a whore or anything. She's saying someone's calling her a whore, and I'm like, yeah, that's the Antichrist. Probably grandma too. So, because she's sleeping around, right? But again, she's a child. She's 14 years old. She's a child. When we have Lucido family, because they're over there at Pitchford Park, again, they're attached to this, including the memorial in Shelby, right? So again, this gets to go back to the Abbas, who robbed our Clinton River and our drain system, right? So it's all down Romeo Plank, all down 23. Right? That's why this stuff, motherfucker, I'm probably going to have to walk. Now it's getting super, I don't want to be walking dark as shit. Okay, let me see. Please let it start. No, this just got worse. It's not going to start. Yeah, it's not going to start. Suck of shit. No, it's not. I'm going to need to jump. All right, Lucy, let's get walking. It's going to be sucky. Let me finish explaining this, and I'll get to walking. Oh, yeah, I'm going to have to walk all the way over to the arbitrium, because there's no way to get out the gates. I'm going to walk past the gates to see if they're open, right? But I don't think they're open. So they usually have them closed. At one time, they were open. So maybe I'll get lucky this one time. They'll end up being open. Because it's like, if you go in front of it, they open. So I don't know if I stand in front of it, they will open. I don't know if they detect by humans. If they do then I can call my boss and then he can just go through it. Like it's designed to be automatic. Your car goes out to it, they open up so you can get out. So, but I could do that, stand on it and allow him to drive through that part. So that way he can come over here and jump me. I see another car, it looks like. I can't tell because that could be in the subdivision or the arbitrium. So because it's way back there by the arbitrium. I hate to. Oh, it looks like it's coming this way. Let me put my blinkers on. Let me put my blinkers on. Yeah, so maybe somebody will see me. Anyways, my point is, let me finish this. This connection point, because it's helpful for my brain. So to acknowledge really how we're just being stolen. So our votes being stolen, our truth is being stolen, our souls are being stolen by some very evil people. So, but I'm just trying to keep some history alive. Right. So, I mean, the reality, all these bitches that I talk about, they're never going to investigate them. They are part of the, out there, I see a light. I can't really see it, but I'm like, out there, I see a light. So, but I don't see anybody coming this way. They used to have security, but now they don't have security anymore. Anyway, so, okay. The memorial out there and these are connected. So like I know this is connected to the Washington because you see SpaceX on it, right? So SpaceX is not over there on the Freedom Hill. Because that one goes to the 90s with the Vietnam and that's Randazzle. So that goes into a whole nother story that I can go on and about, but I'm not going to go because it's distracting. I'm talking about Washington and Vincent Jones. So, because they are the ones that built up, and now they're doing, they do the elm tree, and over there, and it should be Tree of Life, but they stole our Tree of Life. They'd say Tree of Liberty. They stole it. Okay, so they brought their witchcraft over here. So all the way to Boston. So all the way up. We know that, like I said, the Statue of Liberty is like Hindu. I listened to that beautiful woman. It's Pakistan. She's hiding out in some other country, not even Pakistan, right? She's she puts a lot of work into telling those stories. And so I'm like, I never knew about that, about Statue of Liberty. That's why I'm like, kick her ass over and ship her back to the fucking French, or Pakistan. Give her to Pakistan. They could use it. So I'm pretty sure it was Pakistan, not India. It's like India, but I'm pretty sure it was Pakistan. But I'm like, take her back to Pakistan. I'm like, they literally got nuclear. Okay, so again, Israel don't stand a chance. Why the fuck would we give Iran? Right, that's Islam is in Iran and in Saudi Arabia. So why would we just now give Saudi? They're using Trump, using the fuck out of our president, using the United States of America, while they've been horribly destroying our continent over here. It's called pay for Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nope. Understand? You want to get to heaven. You want to understand these earth hole. You want to be making sure you have this love language about love and life, and that Jesus was our savior. He was our healer. He was our, okay, that person disappeared, so that's not going to work. He was our savior. He was our healer, right? He is the one that in the end will, rescue us. So, but you got to know that language, because they crucify him in the whole, yep, I see another light. Maybe they'll come this way. Come, please. Please be security or somebody with jumping cables. Please be somebody. Come here. Come here. Don't go out. Don't leave. Don't leave. I'm over here. Don't leave. Like, don't leave. Could be maintenance as a truck. Don't leave. Oh, they're leaving. Shit. They're leaving. Yeah, they're leaving. They're leaving. Yeah, they're leaving. And they didn't see me. There they go. Bye-bye. They're leaving. Nobody's going to see me. Hello. That's the gate right there. I got to get walking. I can walk and talk. Okay, Lucy, let's get walking and talking. So, did I have... Oh, good. I brought my flip-flops. That's good. Okay, we got to get to walking, Lucy. The damn shit is like... My car is not going to start without a jump. I can't believe I left it in my face. This damn car... You can't... I'm like... I only spent $4,000 on this car. So, it's not like I can complain, after I fucking lost my damn four. I haven't been in my right mind. Like, there's no... There is no... like, when you get attacked, the way I've been fucking attacked, the moment I accepted Jesus as that's what happened. It was literally the same month they fucking, Greg Alexander, took my, constitutional rights away from me, marked me. He fucking marked me. So I just got marked by this fucking evil fuck. He's just like, and I'm still marked, right? And they were proud of themselves. This was a hit that they were able to do. That's why I'm like, don't come fucking here. These bitches are so... Same thing with Shelby. Shelby, fucking please do the same shit. Put fucking hiss on your ass. Show up at your damn church and shit like that. Clinton Township. This is Clinton Township. Again, this is the kind of shit that's going to happen with the fuckboys, right? Because again, I've never had any fathers. The only one that called the police on me was the Jews, the humanitarian Jews. I told that story. And St. Peter's did one time. So the father, because he didn't like what I was saying, because again, 2 years prior to him calling the police on me, he's like, I'll fly you around the world. I know the police are bad, right? Traitor. He says that's what he didn't like me talking about. So because St. Peter's is very involved with that deportation, and these, they're not Abbas. They could be. If I go back in there and start fucking studying them, they could be part of the Abbas. It wouldn't be surprising, because again, when I was studying the pathway of the drain, so how they're doing this connection, right, behind Ford and all that, going all the way over there on Romeo Plank and going down, going to the prison, again, that goes right down to DTE, consumer energy, that fucking horrible factory on Grossbeck, and that factory has destroyed Mount Clemens. It has horribly destroyed the waterways. That's why do not go in these fucking damn rivers. It's unsafe to go into these damn rivers. And we're getting sinkholes too. So, but it's just, the worst thing is you got trees that can fall on your ass. It's the same thing going out there on St. Clair. Well, these bitches are just too busy creating their little like museums. The Edison. So it has nothing to do with the Edison. Like when you talk about Ford Foundation and stuff, because then they're connected to it along St. Clair. So this has got St. Clair in it too. So, but again, let's get back to the memorial right here, right? So, because this is the difference, you know, because I study them and I put so much time into studying them only for the purpose of getting soldiers to be able to pass away to Jesus. Okay? They were promised that. Okay, that's our Constitution. They were promised that. So in order to go to heaven, in order to go home to God, you got to have Jesus' chains, right? That's the reason why Jesus has come and he rescues these soldiers. So because he wants them all to go to home. Y'all got to go to home, okay? So you don't get to stay here. So you don't wait for your children. I'm telling you, don't wait for your wives, your husbands. Most of these people are old. It's usually children, okay? Don't wait for anybody. You know what I'm saying? You were able to still in spirit, right? So you just make sure what you do is you start getting into your children's heads, right? Your family's heads if they come and visit you, right? You start telling them, right, what is going on here. So that way they know to, again, bow down to Jesus. We're not bowing down to some terrorist organizations, right, that get to horribly, I don't want to do that. It might make me get worse. Horribly get to freaking damn abuse. All right, I want you to walk with me. Come with me. We gotta walk, baby. So let's go see if this gate will open with me standing on it. I have to find out whether I have to walk all the way. Come on. It's dark. I don't even have a flashlight. This sucks. Luckily, I can walk along, though. We're just gonna walk along the fence, Lucy. Let me stop drinking this. I won't be able to pee. Not like these fucking niggers, they just be pissing out here. I'm like, these just whip their dicks out. They give us porta potties. You know, that's what makes it evil that the resurrection's got all these connections to an aquifer, right? So that they get to drain. And then the arbitrarium, the ones who volunteer, right? The ones who don't actually rob. The IDC robs, right? But I'm talking about the volunteers and stuff, right? They get a porta potty. So the elders that go out there to basically... I don't know if I should grab my stuff. Well, let me walk down to the fence first. The elders who volunteer and all that stuff, yeah, they get a porta potty. So I just say these kind of men are just evil. I just like there's no getting around it. They're evil asses. That's why God hates them. So they just have this disrespect to women. And their mothers, like so many mothers here, they're in diapers. You know, men have like, 20 some different Viagra pills just to fucking be able to rape damn children, right? So be their daddies, like real gross shit, right? So, and again, then you have all these politicians who are like, there's no doors, right? Again, Turning Point USA is not a fucking door, but that is supposed to be our door. I know, Grandma Moon. Look how beautiful it looks. Yep, right there she is. Keep me protected. Oh! 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 Right, Lucy? Ow, 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 ow! There she is. And she looks so beautiful. I think she's full. Is it full? Oh, look how red. It's got this beautiful ring around. See, that's what I'm saying. They will purposely trap me. Like, I'm not staying the night here, you guys. I don't want to be staying here at night. I know. They're like, stay. We'll keep you safe. You're safe in here. I know ain't nobody will be in here. So I'm like, I could be a security guard. You know, it's good to have a security guard in here. You know what I'm saying? Because they could be praying. I just be up all night just driving around praying, talking. You know what I'm saying? That guarantee you the cemetery will love it. Brings life to it. Because there is life here. So I'm like, just because they're over here horribly there's no life on this side, okay? Because again, this side is Moravians. So what ends up happening to a lot of times to our, our souls, who don't understand that you have to go to the Lightning Chapel, to go up to Prince of Peace. You have to say, I love you, Jesus. I'm ready to go home, to God. Right? And you gotta say God. So, because Jesus is the pathway, but God is your destination. So, and they just have to have that language. So that way, and even families should have that language. So when they're going in here and seeing, coming here, right? Because, again, I don't see dead bodies, but the point is, souls do. They get stuck because again, there's it's just not night and day for Passover. So, and then what happens is, like I said, because I know, because this is Chippewa native land, and based off all the time I have studied, right, they'll chase them out. So they don't want the Moravians. So these colonizers are the Moravians, because the Moravians they're the ones who fucking destroyed the Clinton River. They're the ones who have been decades robbing the fuck out of our damn township, right? And they get away with it. They're just like, everybody's just like, yeah, let's meet up for baseball. Fuck that we're losing all kinds of, military and all kinds of bases are being fucking blown over here for the Iran war. And then we're over here pretending like we're not going to get fucking taxed. Like, oh, no, everything's safe. Just drive up and drop off your vote. It's so important. Vote. What the hell is voting? Right? If, again, you're allowing a World War V to happen. World War V. So, and it's coming no matter what. So it's just better to be on, the righteous side. So this side is the righteous side. So, but anyways, I can't believe how much is a full moon. See, I walked out here. I've been out here walking outside the gate. So it's kind of nice to be able to walk on the inside of the gate. Because normally I'd be walking on the outside of the gate. Because it's the whole point of walking and then just walking, I guess I can do that during the daytime. It's nighttime. See, right now I'm moonlighting. See, I'm native. So this allows me, that's the whole point of, and I'm a wolf. So they're afraid of the wolves. So like, they're fucking idiots. Wolves are protectors. They guide the shepherd to Jesus, okay? But now they're all like, no, follow the abba-dabba-dabba-dabbas. For what? Space Force. So let's get back over there. So Washington over here, their memorial is connected to the Gold Star here, right? And like I said, it's also connected to Christopher Columbus. You're going down there to Port Huron, and then you're connected to going all the way into Shelby. Because again, that's where they're bringing in the pipelines. So, and I'm just like, and you don't go anywhere because they're just allowed to do this. Like, I'm like, again, this is, when you talk about 23, this is very tied to the Ukraine war. So, Warren was very tied to the Iraq war, Saddam Hussein and everything, right? So the 2001. So, and then, but again, this has been, as obviously we're 2001, we're in 2026, so many years now. Let's see, this one, I'm hoping this thing comes open, because it's definitely closed. Let's see. I can't get out of it though. Let's see. Lucy. No, it doesn't open up. Of course it doesn't. Open up. Lucy, get over here, just in case it opens up. Nope. I only detects cars. Shit. All right, let's walk back to the car. I'm going to have to walk all the way over to the Arbitrarium. Let me call Fred, because this is closed too. I can't believe this. It's like, no, you're going to be praying. All right. I will. Yep, that's closed too. I'm stuck. Oh, do I have my lights on? I hope my lights are on. I hope that's not my lights. So my fucking car is dead if my lights are on. No, I think that's the neighbor. All right, let's walk back here, Lucy. We got to go and get our stuff. And I'm just going to have to walk all the way over to the Arbitrarium. And then I can walk from the Arbitrarian. I can just have Fred pick me up in the Arbitrarian. And then I'll get in my car tomorrow. Sleep. Leave a little note saying battery died. Be back in the morning. Be back in the morning. So I have to leave my flag there. So that way they'll be bothered with it. Yeah, so you stay here, baby. You do your magic. You know you're the magic one anyways. My wife was a born Christian, right? This woman, I tell you, she wanted me to accept Jesus. Melvin wasn't anything. So, I did the Christianity, right? I always did, but it was always a struggle because they don't approve. Like, so much of the homosexuals are segregated, even though they're like, we accept all. No, the hell they don't. They accept all to do conversion on your ass. So I'm like, and this has always been a struggle, my whole entire adult life here in America. So, I mean, it started off in Florida. So, but I'm like, oh, I don't want to get distracted. But my point is evil. And my wife and I, we have she's not Catholic. She'll be like, I'm not Catholic. Don't tell you you're Catholic. You're Christian. But I am Christian. But I am Catholic. So now I'm starting to realize I must be like a Lutheran too. So because, I trust that father or that pastor. He's a pastor, I believe. He told me that one over there in Washington, the one is the portal, right? Connected to the Abbas, the Roman Catholics over there. So, because that one's a portal, and then Abbey to the church, that one's connected to Abbey, that location, because whatever it was, I haven't figured out what church that was. But whatever church that was, that one was a portal. And then it connects over there to that building. And it's very specific with, it connects to St. Lutherans. So, this is how it goes. Like, okay, so, because they do get connected. They go into bigger branches, right? You have the Lutheran, like these ones I describe over here. So, but you got Lutheran, that Lutheran 150 that is connected to, Lutheran connected to the Catholic, the Rome, right? Which is also then connected, because like a lot of times they're connected to hospitals, like I said. Then they're connected to that hospital, so it's right next to that Catholic place, right? So it's down there. I wouldn't use those facilities. I would not be using Ford, and I wouldn't use these fucking places that they're rebirthing. Like, what gave you the right to murder the hell out of our doctors during COVID? So, and beyond. So before and beyond, this has been going on a long time, right? What gives you right? These universities do this, constantly bringing us colonizers. So much money to be made in this trafficking humans. People coming over here with their fucking degrees from India and everything else, but then they just get to do like some kind of transfer thing over here. Right. And so that's what they do. And then they get they'll just branch off into businesses. Right. So, but yet the American doctor, they go in debt, hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Hundreds of thousands of dollars. And it's way harder. Right. So again, because it depends on the countries. Right. I'm just telling you, nursing is very fucking hard. So even my social worker was hard. So, but I didn't go into the licensing, and it probably would have been even more harder. Mine was hard because I did a double major with management. So then it got me into doing like counting and probabilities and all these different, I sucked at math. I'm like, I can't even, and then you got to write papers on this shit. I didn't know how I got, sometimes I was just like, oh my God. And I would take double up on the case. I was doing 10 blocks. Oh, look at Leighton Bud. So my point is, same thing with my wife. Hello. Hello.
Did you actually get out of there?
No, my car battery died. So now I'm like gonna have to walk all the way over there. This is earlier. I left my lights on. Now it's trapped. Now I'm trapped. So now I'm gonna have to. I was parked over here by the memorial earlier today. Yeah, my battery. I was just hoping someone would see me. And then I went by the door, and I was like hoping it would open, right? No, and I'm too fat. I'm like, this is God. I'm a prayer warrior, so this is God trying to, because it's a full moon, right? But this is God trying to keep me here overnight. They used to have security here. I put hundreds of hours in
Is
this,
there
right?
like a code I could push or something?
No, I just need my car jumped. So, but you can't even get in here. My battery, because I left my lights on, my battery, and they won't turn over. So when I was here, and there's a memorial over there, so I was here, but the battery died. So then you can't actually, because they closed the gates, so you can't get a car in here. They're closed. They're not. I mean, I've come here many times, so they're like, yeah, they're closed. So I'm like, no, I'm gonna. I went down there to the gate, right? Because I just live down the street, so I can get it jumped. It's just you got to get in here. So I went down there. That's why I went down to the gate to see if it was like, wait, does it look like someone just came in? No, that's on the road. So I keep thinking, I saw some people left, and I put my hands out hoping they would come over, but no. But anyways, yeah, I went down there, and it's only to, because when you leave, when it's closed, when you drive out to it, it opens up. So I went out there with my hands, but it only detects cars. So the only way out of here is, that I know of, is going to the Arbitrarium. You know where that is?
No.
Oh, that's like, well, it's a nice path. This is nice to walk in here, but yeah, you go, Arbitrarium's over at where you got the library. So the library, the Ghost Star, there's a path that says the Arbitrarium that takes you over to the Arbitrarium, and that's like, I think 17. So, but it's a nice park that the elders do and stuff like that. That's the only way, because that's their other side of their cemetery. That's the only spot I know. So I'm gonna have to actually, and then come back tomorrow. And jump the car. So yeah, I was just like, no, I'm just over here. But it's a good night too, because I'm native.
Yeah.
It's a full moon. So if you believe in Jesus, I'm just telling you, it's a good night. And God, it's a good night to be, I call it moonlighting.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, so it's that, because this cemetery is actually very special. So same thing with the Cadillac. I do the Cadillac too. They got that one down there. Just prayers. I mean, I'm a hospice nurse. So, but that one, this one's a little more special because it has a earth portal hole here. So it has a connection point to heaven and earth. The resurrection, I mean the Cadillac, they got Reverend Dr. Martin Luther, but I don't know if they have a portal hole. So, but it's actually,
right down there.
yeah, no one pays attention to these cemeteries. But if you go in that cemetery, oh, okay.
I walk in both of them.
Oh, so if you go in there, you'll find, now that I pointed out to you, that big old statue armor, right, is he's the only big statue armor man, right? Okay. So he when you go read it, he's called Reverend Dr. Martin Luther, and he was a Lutheran. He converted, but he's like an armor of God, right? So he actually protects, but he also, if you read his plaque, he goes back to conscience and quantive like thinking. So he goes back to like 1500s, but he goes back to Albert Einstein. Really? And wormholes, like worm portal holes. So wormholes and stuff. So like, you know, sometimes you know, that's why when you go through these stuff, you read them, because every cemetery has a story. Sure. Right, but he plays a vital part because that whole conscience it actually goes back to our wars, and it goes back to you know, I guess the corruption of the Catholic. I'm Catholic, but it goes back to the corruption of the Catholics. So like that Roman, like that real old school thinking kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So, and that's the reason why he was a monk, and he still had a wife and stuff, but that's why he did some, but that's the whole point of his wording. So like I can't remember his whole phrase he has written on his big old statue, because I live right down the street from him. So I always say he's my armor of God. Yeah. I use him for my protection, because they don't have an armor of God here, but they do have an earth portal hole. So they had and I come here because they got the Vietnam, they had the memorial here. Yeah. So I pray on that. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, when you come in here, that's what Cadillac is special for the Dr. Martin Luther. And here is, if you look on the map here, and so you pull this up on a map, like if you go in the best way to see it is if you go into your text messages, there's a plus sign that opens up a menu, and then there has a one-time map on there. It says one-time location. Now, one-time map or one-time location, you hit that, it shows you a map, right? So when you pull that up right here, you'll find that it has two crosses. Sometimes you can see it on the Google map too.
Really?
But there's two crosses here. There's a small one and a little one. The small one's called the Lightning Chapel. And you'll see it. It'll say Lightning Chapel. And then the other side doesn't have a name, but it's St. John. So that was side, but the one that is connected to like an earth portal hole, right? That's connection for Jesus, because it's at Prince of Peace. You don't see it on the map. You see the small cross, and they did this through their story of creating this cemetery, but God accepted it. But it's at Prince of Peace, and it's called the Lightning Chapel, and it's the small cross. So it's like a connection. So again, if you want to go to heaven, I'm just saying, this is these kind of spots. This is not the only earth portal hole, but these kind of stuff, you are talking to connection points, right? So from earth to heaven. So you're communicating from Mother Earth. So Mother Earth commutes to Father Sky. So that is heaven, G-O-D, right? And then it also talks to like Grandmother Moon, Grandfather Sun. These things work together in fours, but in the three crosses. So this kind of stuff is important because here in Clinton Township, we believe in G-A-D. I don't know if you ever heard of that. No, that's the Abraham God. And I'm like, don't follow it. Okay, because that's the Israel God, right? I'm just telling you, I'm a hospice nurse. Okay, the GADs never make it out of the Holy Ghost world. That's like in the ground. We live in the Holy Spirit, and then you got the upper world, and they communicate in the three crosses. They shift within each other, being able to communicate. So you don't want to follow the GAD God. I didn't even know of the GAD God. I learned about it, and I'm like, get the hell out of here, you GAD God. Because the O is important. It goes, Godson. You can't change the vowel, okay? I'm April and I'm an A, and I'm telling you, no fucking way. You can't change that. And they have. That follows the Israel mission.
Really?
Yeah, so that's, all this shit that's going on right now with Trump and doing the conversion with Israel into the United States of America. None of that stuff's good. So it's not good at all. So, we're over here living in La La Land. You want to know, because like Fern Hill and all, even this resurrection, they're GAD.
Oh yeah.
So you don't even the Cadillac, they're GOD.
Really?
So, but this one here, and it's a very nice cemetery. Yeah, they pretty much rob our taxes.
I think it's the biggest one in Michigan, maybe? Or?
No, I don't think it's the biggest one. But it's important. It's unfortunately, it's run by, you got your brights on.
I know.
Yeah, but it's important because it is it's run by GAD, but it is GOD. Because God chose this to have an earth portal connection. Right, so it's important to know that part because over the money that went into a lot of the memorials and stuff like that, they went into that GAD conversion. So because of infrastructure, all down here, it's part of the GAD. And I'm like, now that's why it's important to read historical markers and all that shit, because then you start realizing why are we in La La Land? I'm like, we're like, this is like, my brain is somewhere different. Like, I realize we're actually in World War IV. That's Iraq War. It started in the 90s, the Iraq War. So the GAD people keep us trapped in World War II era, right? And don't even talk. But there's already people universities have already done papers on Vietnam being World War III, World War IV being Iraq, and World War V, which we're going into, being Iran. So yeah, our government and everybody else is like, what I'm saying, we're just going to keep blessing these World War II. Yeah. Right, and meanwhile we're losing thousands and thousands of veterans. So families, I'm a veteran family, so I'm like, I have witnessed how military families have paid the ultimate price over by the millions off these world wars, and we're not even talking about the world wars. We're over here pretending like we're in World War II. So, but it's still special. So it's moonlighting. So it's like that. Make sure you're useful. I mean, if you believe in Jesus, you might not be a Christian, but if you do believe in Jesus, right? This is the time, because you have to have a diary. I tell people, everybody has a diary with God. And if you're a Christian and you believe in Jesus, it's through his son. right? But it's also through his mother, Mother Mary. So you got to change your language and not say virgin and say mother, because she like literally birthed Jesus. So, but you having that language, no matter what happens to you, like, you know, plenty of people die that it's not their time. They just die for many reasons. Or at least you have a chain to make sure your soul that you live in right now converts into your spirit child. That's you're born, because when you die, you go back to infancy and you resurrect to heaven. So you want to go back and understand that, so that you go back into SON, right? So that you're going to the right pathway. You're not being stuck. You're not being voodoo cursed. Some people die. I got a lot of murdered victims who live in my heart with Mother Mary. They are reliving their murders. They're stuck in these bubbles. Right, so I'm like, no, you want to have a good language, though. But no, I'm gonna be actually hauling my ass across the, because I'm like, no, I would climb over it, but I'm like, no.
There's like there's a spot
where
down there where there's like kind of like a.
Because I see something over there.
Kind of, but I mean, I don't.
Can you get in out of it?
I don't know. I never tried it, you know, but I mean.
Where is it at?
I mean, it's down. It's right on the. Pretty much
the edge
corner, and then going down to the right a tiny bit.
All right, well, I guess I'll walk down there before I walk back to my car to walk way over to the other side of the cemetery.
It might be worth.
Yeah, because if I can squeeze through it, I'll just squeeze through it.
You might be able to. Like,
yeah, there's an opening over here by the subdivision, but I can't squeeze through it. So I saw that. There looks like a pathway, but it's locked up and stuff, so I can't. I just know for sure by the arbitrarium, that's open. I can get across there. I just got to walk all the way over there. And damn ticks and stuff. At least it's a good night to be walking.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
All right, I'll walk that. You said down at the edge?
Yeah, I can show you. I'm going to go back that way anyways.
Where, Lucy?
I mean, it might not even be as big as it looks, though. But I just noticed it, and I was like, yeah, but I could probably do that.
Oh, you could squeeze through it. I would be able to squeeze through it.
It saved you a lot of walking, though.
Yeah, going all the way across the cemetery.
Yeah.
Kind of like it because it's moonlighting, so you know, I think they purposely drowned my car so I wouldn't have to be able to leave. That's the spirit. This cemetery is connected to Georgetown Park. You know where Georgetown Park is?
No.
That's over where, because that's another earth portal hole. It goes back to the Moravians. The Moravians are like, this is Chippewa side. Moravians are actually on the other side. They're in the library too. And so, but Georgetown, and the Catholics are involved with it too, because they're out there fracking, doing their little projects. But yeah, they're connected because the native, going back to the Civil War, when the Chippewas were fighting, the Brits and the colonizers that were over here, French, Brits that are over here. They had natives, Moravians were like colonizers that came up, and they befriended the Native Americans into Christianity, right? But they also like stole wives and really robbed the natives. That's exactly what the Moravians did. So, but you ever heard the road Moravian? Yeah. Okay, so that's where Georgetown Park is. You go on Cass, and you go down to that light where that big cemetery is.
Right there.
Yeah, so you make it right there. And it's a nice park, but it takes money away from services. It robs with infrastructure projects. But anyways, if that is right down where you can canoe and stuff, it used to be a whale and a burial. That's always what makes the North Portal. They're connected to burials. So, but that was a native burial over there. The natives that were working with the Moravian. Oh, it smells like something dead over here. Oh, like I don't see nothing. Oh, down here. Okay, I was gonna say so far I don't see nothing.
Yeah, it's like down here somewhere.
You think it's past the subdivision?
No, it's just like.
Oh, okay.
It's just like right around here somewhere.
Wait, do I have to get on the ground?
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, I don't know if I want to get on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get stabbed.
I just know there's one spot here.
Oh, I do see.
There's kind of like a.
Yeah, like this one probably. Oh, I was thinking like some kind of.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the one or not, but that doesn't look too. Yeah, it's not very.
Actually, I probably could fit in that. I don't know. I'm like,
Yeah.
do I want to try to see her?
Yeah.
I probably could. Look at Lucy. Lucy, can you fit in there?
Yeah, the dog definitely could.
Yeah, I can fit underneath here.
Oh, I think. Yeah.
I can't fit. No, I'm just a normal person. He's like, who the hell is this?
So you can fit.
I can. I actually will go underneath here.
Okay.
Yeah, because that beats going all the way across the cemetery.
Heck yeah.
I hate to have cops and somebody be like, you know, because I'm over here, you know, I'm saying creeping in the cemetery. Yeah,
no doubt.
Let me go get my stuff. So yeah, I think I will.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. There's no opening at anywhere, like at the connection. Lucy down here.
Yeah, I mean, put a card in there right now. You have to go all the way, all the way back to the backyard.
We did see a spot right here that I think I went underneath it. So I was like, oh no, take it right here. Not this one. This one. Yeah, I think
Well,
it's this one.
how about at the fence?
Huh?
How about at the
I went up to the fence. It was like going like this, and hopefully because they're closed.
But it's not high. It's not high.
No,
enough?
it's always to the ground. This is
Okay.
probably the closest one, and I can't technically fit under these. Need
So,
this.
yeah, like I said, my son and I, we were walking around here. We got stuck here, and we went all the way. Like I said, if you just go straight back to, and you'll end up across from the Civic Center. It's as far as you can go. And when you get to, it's like a backyard, and the fences are normal. It's a normal fence, and then I jumped the fence.
Then jump fence. Is that somebody's house?
Yeah, but you can get right over to, you know, it's on the corner, right to the sidewalk.
Okay.
So the sidewalk up here goes all the way.
Yeah, I
to
live
the
here.
light. Yeah,
I come here all the time.
Yeah, then you take a left on, what is it, Romeo's Plain?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so
a
you'll
long
be
way.
on
Oh, they got
Romeo's
graves all the way
Plain.
over here. I didn't realize they have graves all the way over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they do. They got graves all over here. Okay. I love this. So the question is, do I, come on Lucy. I'm like, do I crawl underneath the fence? Or do I walk over to the arbitrarium? I guess I'm gonna walk over to the arbitrarium so you can pick me up there. That way I can get my flag. I think I'm gonna walk. You can't get. Oh, there you go. You're still there. Come here, baby. That way I can get. I got my Navy flag over there, so that way I can grab my Navy flag. So I'm gonna leave my Army flag here. Oh God, let me call Fred and tell him I'm gonna need him to pick me up at the arbitrarium. Now we gotta pee. This is not good. I'm gonna walk the fence. He said just walk the fence and it'll take you there, but I'm going to walk to the arbitrarium. I don't want to cross somebody's backyard. I'm afraid of people. People fucking shoot your ass. I'm afraid to jump. He's white. He can jump somebody's fence. So, plus again, hopefully I go back and my car starts. And then I could just drive right up out of here. Right, Lucy? Then we could just drive right out of here. But otherwise, I'm going to leave a note and say I'll be back in the morning. And I'm going to walk over to the arbitrarium. So, but I'm going to actually walk to the arbitrarium because I think it's faster than what he's saying, walking all that way. So, and again, I'm not jumping somebody's fence. I know I can go over by the construction crew over there, so, and cut through there and not have any problems because they allow me to go over there. I know, I wish they still had security. They should hire me. I ain't got a job anyways. I could be here praying all night, you know? Right, Jesus, we love you. We love you. We love you, Grandma Moon. Okay? See, people don't know language here. That's how it goes. All right, Lucy. Well, the lights are on better. Maybe it'll start. Where's the keys at? Nope, of course not. Okay. We love you. Come here, baby. We're gonna see, I want to show you something before I walk over. Right here. See what it says? St. Michael's Catholic Safety, Awareness, and Procedures. Right? Guess what's in it? Our mission. Come together and worship. We take safety serious. Why would this be your St. Michael prayer? I put this, see how dirty it looks? Okay, but I put this in the grave. Beatrice. That's Fred's. I'm going to take this down there with her. That's Fred's mom. So this is when I decorated her memorial. They tore it up too, of course. So, good gift, perfect gift. It's from above. Exactly. So, and let's talk about this. So we have to wrap up this video. It's a to be continued about how we're being slaughtered here, right? But this I found very interesting today, right? I was digging through my little treasure boxes. I have so much stuff, so and they're prayers, right? There's stuff written, because the point is record, written, you know. Do not use, see, this is out on 8 Mile next to Fisher. Again, they're drugging the cannabis with, you know, drugs. So ethanol, alcohol, and vanilla extract. Ew. And look at this. Fucking nigger. Of course. Definitely look what he does to the nigger. 3 roses. Okay, because this is about Eastland Mall, and we don't need the shit happening to Lakeside Mall. See, there's always some, and Fisher goes back to Ford House, that goes back to the Edison. The Edison goes back down there to Romeo Plank, starting around, like where I was out fishing around, down there where Henry Ford is. Right, I know this because I met an elder, and we had this conversation about how Edison came down there and bought out mass amount of land, and they bought it for a good price, and because normally these other bitches, these fucking niggers, they rob our farms. They rob these fucking builders, MJC, El Lorenzo, Plut, P-U-E-L-T, the one down there on 23, also out there in Saline. Hello, mama knows too much. Okay, God's sick of you as evil asses. So, because they just horribly, horribly rob us, right? This is about freeing, you know, can't be horribly having these victims caught up. So my point is, like, look at this. This is a little white book that I got out of St. Michael's. Little white book mixed with Pastor Scott here, you know. So again, I wouldn't get baptized at these places. I don't care. They can go bankrupt. God don't like these people. So Wendy, oh, these are the people I met up in that hospital. God knows what happened to these people. Okay. This is my prayer. I'm going to leave this on his mother's cemetery. So, yeah, this is so I can do this tonight. Let's do this for my battery dies. Okay, I won't be recording all that stuff because I'm going to listen to music and walk. I'm done recording. Look at this. This is an old... Look at this. Macomb Multiple Listing Services. And it goes back to... Oh, you can't see. 1984? 84. 84. 1984. Collecting data, right? Look at Shelby. Shelby in 1954 had 38,939 people, right? It was Robert E. White. It's important to know this. I'm telling you. So, and then look at this. You go over to Utica, 5,300. Fred Beck, right? I'm just like, okay, because Sterling Heights and Shelby, they fucking horribly rob Utica. And then right here it says they have see Utica schools, right? But look at Shelby. Shelby includes Utica, Romeo, and Rochester, right? So you know why this matters is because of that R. So the R in Romeo, right, is the R over there on that Republican building next to it, that restaurant. So that R is over there on 15 Mile, where you got the Collin Cemetery, not cemetery, but funeral home, Dignity Memorial. That's why I talk about Dignity Memorial, because they gave no dignity to our soldiers, right? So it's very evil. But again, his wife, I love maps. So, but his wife, this is why I love going through her stuff, because she always has such good stuff that I can find. She was like my wife, she kept stuff, you know, like even her counting and stuff like that. That's how I learned some of the stuff with Saudi Arabia, was reading through her stuff, right, and listening to her, because I'm not gonna know this shit. Yeah, she was an accountant. Like my wife, also, oops.